on the pip. The marijuana is bliss, smoke hard like a chain, alleviated the game. Machiavelli by the gram, we are not the same. Pointed to the smoke section, twist the blunt to perfection. Turn your home to a greenery when I solo a session. Good time, no stressing, the high grade made a connection. For the clouds I invest in on a herbal obsession. Smoke you under the table, smoke you off this planet. Loud is my cologne and some people won't understand it. Eyes low, I rise slow, watch the smoke rise, bro. Windows up, music bumping by default. This hoe alleviating the issue with the spark of a swisher. I put together a mixture, I keep the green in the picture. 420 every day, all hail the big chief. Up past the cannabis sativa, now I'm choking.
Yeah. Welcome back to Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip-hop music. My name is Kornbread, and what you are about to hear is part 2. What the fuck are you listening to? I have a few friends who have a diverse taste in music. Sometimes when I get in the car with them, I ask, what the fuck are you listening to? And I have to ask this because some of this type of music I wouldn't allow listen to in my house or in my car ever. And 9 times out of 10 I don't know who the artist is. So I'm not asking to be funny. I'm asking to be informed about what it is I'm listening to. Most of the time it's bullshit. What you listen to is very important because it's not far from who you are and what you believe. Back in the days when I was coming up, you had people who knew what real music was and they appreciated what real music was. These days, most people are programmed. That's why radio is called a program, television is called a program, and people are programmed to watch and listen to certain things. If you can understand that, then you might understand why the general public would listen to something that they know in the back of their mind is trash, but because everybody's going along with it, and society now is go along, get along, they'll put up with it. They'll listen to it. They'll entertain it. Well, it's clear that over here we don't entertain bullshit because you can't be great if you study a garbage can. People hear me say that and they don't understand why. That's a logic that I use that's applied to music because I'm an artist myself. I come from an era where rap albums inspired artists to make the best music that they can make without duplicating or mimicking the sounds that they're listening to. Back in the 90s, when Tribe was putting out albums and Dre put out The Chronic and Doggy Style and Tupac and all these different artists was putting out music, that would inspire me to write the best shit that I could write. Not trying to sound like them, not trying to imitate them, but trying to be the best version of me. That music continues to inspire me. Now, what does today's music inspire? Is the big question. From my viewpoint, it doesn't inspire anything. it kills everything around it. Wherever there's stupid sounds, you can expect stupid activity. There's no knowledge. There's nothing you can learn. No news you can use. Social commentary, nope. Political commentary, nope. None of that. It is nothing. Now, a lot of people will contend to say, well, it's all entertainment. And true, it is entertainment. But rap had always had that layer of knowledge added to it. If you go back and listen to the 80s and the 90s, there was brothers dropping knowledge. Poor Righteous Teachers, KRS-One, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Brand Nubian, even down to the Ghetto Boys. Brothers was putting knowledge in their music. It seems like after a certain point, probably mid 90s, you got past a certain point where you didn't hear that knowledge anymore. And it was just all, and it's just been all totally straight street since then. You know, and rappers were diverse. You know, they could give you some street stuff on their album, but they would also give you some knowledge, like Ice Cube. His thing was street knowledge, which kind of fused the two and made him one of the best MCs, and which is the reason why he's on a lot of people's top 5 right now. A lot of people look like they have lowered IQs when they ride around listening to the music that they listen to. You might think it's cool. You might roll around with your windows down and your system up. But you look like a fucking retard when you ride around playing that dumb shit. And it ain't just that. It ain't just one-sided either. You know, and we can go deeper because music taps into the psyche, into the brain, certain sounds, the frequencies, taps into the brain, gets the brain used to hearing that. So they're used to it. And anything that doesn't sound like what they're not used to, they're going to go against that. But now let's take it even deeper. Out of many, many years of being involved in music and being around people who are fans of music, I probably only had one person that was close to me give me an intelligent reason why they listen to a certain artist's music. I was living in Houston. This is back when I was living in a Trey. And shout out to Solo Hendrix. Shout out to Rob Gillette. My partner Solo Hendrix had a kinfolk named E. Shout out to E. I asked E, why does he listen to a certain artist? And E told me, when I listen to this artist, it motivates me to get up and go to my job and make money. And I thought, okay, that's probably about the most constructive comment that I've heard from someone who listens to some music that I could care less for. But he took it very constructive. He said, man, it made me want to go to my job and just work because I know I'm making that money. You know what I'm saying? And he was the only person that told me that. Because throughout the years, I asked people why they listen to it. They can't tell you why. A lot of them just following their peer groups. They don't want to be ostracized for not liking something that everybody else likes. So they go along with it. But that's not cool though. Never has it ever been this type of go along, get along as far as that's concerned. But it's all across the board. It goes deeper than music. I'm just talking about music. It's easy to say that if you give a person music that talks about murder, death, kill, I make money, I fuck hoes, I do all these drugs, it's a chance that the listener could fall into one of those holes throughout the course of life. Because if you're listening to that type of music, it's a chance that you hang with other people who listen to that type of music. And what are y'all lifestyles like? Are y'all lifestyles totally opposite from the music you listen to? Well, we know these days that's not possible. That's not the truth. Most people who listen to that type of music, they dwell and they move around in those circles and they do what a lot of those artists are talking about. So it's easy to say you listen to it because this is the life you're living. This artist, whoever they may be, is detailing a lifestyle that you're living or trying to live. And I would have to say that would be willingly stupid because everybody knows there is no future with drugs. Everybody knows there are certain images that are propelled throughout rap music that are very dangerous to a lot of people who try to perpetuate that lifestyle outside of music, and bad things happen. So it becomes very dangerous. It becomes very sickening. And it becomes very sad also because you watching a generation of people who are so wrapped up in this music. They hang on to the words of these artists. And a lot of these artists don't have less than 10% of talent. They're not talking about anything of any importance. But yet, this generation knows those records. And they feed into it. And they live like that. And their consequences end up being a grave or a jail cell. Do y'all even know that that's why that music was created? Do you know that every weekend you go to the club, you in the club jamming some music that was put in place by other people to make you go to jail and or get killed? Do you know that? A lot of people don't. I bet if they did, some probably would care. They probably be like, damn, he right, he ain't lying. But some people wouldn't, because some people don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just putting it out there to let it be known. Yeah, man, this is real, man. I'm not saying this is stupid just because I don't like it. I make no issues about the fact that I don't like new era music. But the sentiment behind it, the message behind it, the impact behind it is way more dangerous than people give it credit for. A lot of people don't take it as serious as they should. It's funny, in the black community, what we do take serious and what we don't take serious. The things we should take serious, that's the shit that get laughed at. That's the shit that roll off your back like water in the shower and people just keep going. And the things that we should not be paying attention to, the things that are put in place to distract us, those are the situations that get blown up. They become viral. They become worldwide news. They become the focal point of everyone's conversation. And finally, someone got the balls enough to call it out and call it what it is. Because it's a lot of people lollygagging. It's a lot of people dragging their feet as far as the truth is concerned. And it has to be put out there. What you listen to is very important. That's one reason why I don't go a lot of places. I don't like to hear stupid shit when I go out. Stupid music breeds stupid activity. Period, point blank. It always happens. Go on YouTube, type in some videos, watch some of the violence that's going on, but pay attention to what's playing in the background. 9 times out of 10, it's a dumbass song playing in the background. What I'm saying is not to be taken as a rant. This is just the truth. This is why I'll walk up to somebody and I'll be like, yo, what the fuck are you listening to? A lot of times they on so many drugs, they don't know what they listening to. They just going with the flow. But that brings about another problem. And that problem is the lack of accountability. That's something that I have been meaning to talk about for a while. I know that the topic of conversation is heavy enough to have more than one episode on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that accountability for part 3. And I'm going to say this. The what are you listening to? That applies for females as well. Because it's no secret that, the female sector of rap has become hyper over sexualized. And just like anything, once you have too much of the same thing out in the marketplace at once, it's the market stalls because people don't constantly want to hear that shit all the time. And all it takes is one artist to come out of nowhere and to sound like the alternative to change the direction of female rap and take it to another direction. One would say if you would see a woman and she's listening to the latest thought rap, one would have to assume one or two things. Either she's a prostitute or she's a prostitute in training. Now, it's unfair. We're not supposed to judge people by the music that they listen to. We're not supposed to judge people by anything. But you and I both know we live in a judgmental world. People are judged by who their friends are. They're judged by where they live, what type of car they drive, how much money they make, what kind of clothes they wear. Music might be on the lower end of the spectrum because people don't take it as serious as I do. I know that if you're listening to something, if you're a fan of something, it's a reason why. 9 times out of 10, either that's your life that artist is talking about, which is why you like it so much, or you want to have the life that this artist is talking about. And this is the funny thing about the thought rap thing that I don't know if anybody paid attention to. You have these female rappers of today who promote this hypersexualized lifestyle, promiscuous lifestyle. And the truth of the matter is, they don't live how they talk. They've created a product that the public wants, obviously. And they're just selling the product. But now their real life don't mirror what they putting out there on records. Because some of these women are married. Some have children. Some are in relationships. None of them are selling themselves on the streets. None of them are selling themselves on social media. None of them are what their music promotes. But the effect that it's having on the women that listen to it, ooh. I mean, I remember being young. One of the worst things you could call a woman back in my day was a hoe. And if you call her that, it was damn near finna be something physical behind it. But in 2022, you can call a girl a hoe and she will say thank you. Shit has really changed. And I have a lot of friends who have daughters. There's a bunch of young, impressionable little girls that's looking up to these people. And all I can do is pray for the parents. That's all I could do. Because it's a slippery slope when we talk about thought rap, the grown adults who listen to it, because it's adult music. But unfortunately, this adult music has spread down to children because children listen to it as well. Children know about these things that they should know about, but unfortunately they do. And everything is hyper over sexualized. I remember when a child would stay in a child's place. When adults were around talking when I was younger, children were not allowed in the room. They either went in the room and played with their friends or they played outside. Things have really changed drastically. And there's positive rap out there. Rhapsody is the best female rapper I had, but nobody talks about her. And that's because she's not selling her body. She's not being hyper over sexualized. And that should let you know right there that what you listen to is very important. Also, what you know is very important, man. Start reading a book. Turn off the goddamn phones and the computers and the televisions and read a goddamn book. I cannot stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? But my name is Kornbread Capone. This is Unpopular Honesty. Thank you for listening to part 2. What the fuck are you listening to? Stay tuned for part 3, Accountability. Until then, peace and love.